All right. Welcome back to the Lady Lair. Ladies and gents, I'm sure it's majority ladies. We are getting into the latest tea, the hottest drama. We are going to be talking about what is going on today on the internet. And obviously, we're going to be getting into the latest episode of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Um, Also, disclaimer, I'm a mother first. So I got stuck with the kids today. So if y'all hear anything in the background, if my daughter comes up, it is what it be. And what is that saying? Tomorrow is gonna end. What is it? At the end of the
End
day,
of the day, the
the
day
day is
gonna
gotta
end.
end.
It'll be
So what
fine.
exactly, it's gonna be just fine. So what we're gonna get into today first is the buzz layer. So ladies, what do we have on today's topic for the buzz layer?
So I don't know if y'all saw, but last week we was talking about J Lo and how she has all these like negative things in the tabloids and how her and Ben are possibly separating. Well, a video came out of Ben walking down the street kissing on some woman, and I'm like,
Oh,
Who this
the
woman?
I didn't
rumors
see
is
that.
true. Well, girl, listen, I got a video, so
You got receipts?
let's look at this video real quick. Here we go. Okay, y'all. So here's the video. Walking comfortable.
Yeah, they look pretty chummy. Was that a kid? A peck on the cheek?
No, kiss all on the lips and the
Oh,
forehead.
in the
Is
back
this
of
a
her?
is this recent?
This is recent. This came out this week.
She's looking back like she knows somebody's watching. Is somebody recording for them?
I don't know.
Do we think it's a
Let's hope
movie?
Wow.
Is it a movie?
let's hope this is a movie because I don't know.
And look, he's shaking his head like he know he was just caught. What you gonna do?
It wasn't like they were trying to hide or anything like that. Like you're on a public street, you know, a paparazzi's gonna follow you. Like it could be a movie. Or
Let's
they broke
hope.
up and they didn't tell us.
Let's hope. The comments was saying that's the happiest he done looked in a while. We ain't seen Ben smile in a long time. So
Now, didn't I make that
Man.
comment last episode? I done told y'all. I said Ben don't look happy with J Lo, and she just seems to have a history of the men cheating on her. A Rod done cheated on her. I mean, it's like I don't know. But Ben is raggedy for that because you just gonna do that in public. Did you not think that people were gonna keep an eye on you, knowing that your wife is under a microscope right now? And
He
she just came out
knows.
with a movie.
Yeah. He knows
yeah.
everybody's watching him all the time. They wait for you to slip up and do something. That's why I'm like, either he
Listen,
don't care
at this
or
point, he don't care. I feel like he did the same thing with Jennifer Gardner, his ex-wife. That's how they broke up
Mm.
because he cheated with somebody too, the nanny or somebody. So
wow,
he got a track
Oh.
record.
the disrespect.
And speaking of disrespectful men, did y'all see that Pastor Brian is now engaged to Carrie? What's her last name? I know her last name. Carrie
Turner?
Turner. Yeah, so I don't know if y'all remember, like a while ago, Carrie Turner did this video on this panel where they were talking about what they're looking for in the men and all of that stuff. And I'm just thinking about, like, based off of what Pastor Bryant has shown us on the Housewives. We don't know this man, but what he's shown
Right.
us on the Housewives and how he's acted towards Giselle, I'm just wondering if that's really in line
Mm.
with what Carrie Turner is looking for, or is she settling?
Who is
So
Right.
Carrie Turner?
I'm gonna show you. We got a little refresher video so you can see
Okay.
who she is
Right. She
and
had to
hear
refresh
kind of
my
what she's
memory as
looking
well.
for.
But apparently she is also a pastor.
Yeah,
So
and they're saying
Mm.
maybe at his church too.
right.
So maybe that's like little sis relationship. Well, not little sis,
Ah,
still, that's creepy.
they get married now. I hope not.
Right. Okay, so here's the video. This is the video of her from a while back when she did the panel.
So I'm not telling you a person that I want to date. I'm telling you what I want from a husband. So from a husband, I desire a man who has very clear vision. He is clear about purpose and destiny, not just for himself, but a man who you marry has to be able to cultivate what is in and on you as well. So I can't have a man who is unclear about where he is going and who is intimidated by what and who I am. He has to be able to help me cultivate what I am as well. So I desire clear vision. I desire clear purpose. I need definition. I'm not a go with the flow type of woman. I need to know where we going, what we doing, what's the destination. I thrive. Hear this. I thrive.
Okay, so that's just a little snippet. But as you can see, she knows what she wants. And I love it.
Katrina had to remind me of that video because I'm like, this can't be that lady. Like, but I do think that everything first of all, I agree with everything that she's saying. Like, take heed to what she's saying because all that is true. You should want all those things.
Right.
But I don't even think that is not necessarily characteristics of Jamal Bryant. We never heard about him not being supportive, not caring about the women that he's with in that manner. His issue has been the cheating. So
I think too, like when you're with certain people, like if they require certain things, then you know that you can't get away with those things. And she seems like somebody that lets people know up front what you can and what you can't do with her. And I think that's why it's like, hopefully this is going to be different because.
Yeah. And with her being a God-fearing woman, hopefully she has heard from the Lord. And the Lord has told her that this is the way that she should go. Because if not, I don't know why you would even step in your foot in that direction, because he is allegedly a serial cheater.
Right.
So where do we know? Where do we know
as a man of God? Okay.
That's Giselle Bryant's ex-husband from Potomac.
Oh, yes. And he cheated on her, right?
Yes, multiple times. And then he came back on the show and they was acting like they was going to get back together, but he wasn't showing up to nothing. That was the one that Karen kept coming at her for, like, well, where's Pastor Bryant? Where's Jamal?
Right.
Where's Jamal?
Right. And I think what she was talking about, a man that has vision and knows what he wants, I think he probably does have those characteristics, and just the way he moves in business and in life in general, it doesn't seem like he doesn't know what his trajectory is. He just got some other issues. So hopefully in their relationship, that doesn't become a problem, because it's going to be public because everything about him is public.
Right.
And that's just embarrassing. So, especially because people can pull these receipts of things that you said.
Right. And the way he did our girl tweet, like, I don't appreciate that. Like,
don't y'all feel, though, a lot of women too, even though they know the men's history of them being, they got that dog in them, right? We feel that innate nature to feel like we can change that man, and they'll never do that to us. Like, sometimes women do feel like that. Like, they know that they're literally a walking red flag, and they feel like, oh, well, I'm a confident woman. I know who I'm in my skin. Maybe he's the woman that he needs. Or no, I'm the woman that he needs to make him be a better version man of himself. But I almost feel like these men that are that way have a lot of healing that they need to do. And it's not going to ever take a woman to bring that out of them. It's going to take Jesus himself and some therapy. And that's
right. He gonna be who he is. Like that. I don't see a lot
because you have to have a desire to change. But if you have been getting away with these things for so long, and the women come back, it's not like they leave and never turn back. They come back because he got money. He has a way with his words. And they believe him, and he got the whole man of God thing on, as well, where I'm pretty sure he uses that as well, which is very unfortunate. But unfortunately, there are a lot of women who still believe that they can change a man, and it is an uphill battle. Now, I will say that in a lot of cases, women do make most cases, women do make the man better. But that man has to have something in him for her to pull it out.
Right.
It can't just be like, you can't do a miracle now.
Right.
especially at his age, like you said, like a man of that age to change his completely change his life around is very rare.
But you know what? It's funny that you bring up the age thing, because I am learning, talking to like my cousins that are older, or looking at my brothers, younger, the relationships, or looking at younger relationships in general. I almost feel like it really don't matter the age. A man could be 75 and still acting a cold fool.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yep.
One of my cousins,
at that age, to get a man to change at that age is like, girl,
he is who he is.
Right.
Ain't nothing you can do about it, baby.
It has to be something that they want to do.
Yep.
Exactly.
I heard the same thing from an older lady as well when I was working, and she would go on dates and she would come back. She was like, this man trying to take me to Denny's, and she was in her 60s. Yeah, she said I got all dressed up and thinking we're going on a real date, and he tried to take me to Denny's and then looked at me like I was crazy for being uncomfortable. And I'm like, in your 60s?
Right. Yeah, Denny's is crossing the line. Like Cheesecake Factory would have been better than Disney.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Like,
hell, Applebee's at happy hour, it would have been a vibe.
Right. Yeah. You told me to put on just anything to go to Denny's. Like, that's
right. And that's not a dinner date. That is, even if I was to accept that, that's a breakfast. Let's just go we went on a date last night. You want to go get breakfast real quick? Like,
right.
Not a date. And I'm getting dressed up, and she is a very, what do you call it? Like, she dresses to the nines, like very together lady. She keeps her hair, nails, everything all together. Mm-hmm. So they just,
and based on that, he should have known that was not going to be okay.
Exactly. That's why she was insulted.
Yeah,
very insulting. That's very offensive. Because it'd be like, do you not see me? Do you not see how I carry myself? Do you not even feel like I deserve more than this? Denny's though, for real, Denny's, not even IHOP.
Right.
Okay. That's what I said. But yeah, it just goes back to I hope for her sake that either one, she come to her I can't say come to her sentence, but something is revealed if this is not the way she should go before she gets married.
Yeah.
Or that he is indeed a new man.
Yeah.
Well, we shall
only
see.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Before you carry.
So the next item that we have in the buzz layer is another Diddy update. Today there was a news report that came out stating that the federal investigators are reportedly going to take this case to the grand jury.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And when they seized his homes in New York and Miami, they did recover some videos that were shot in the home. Mm-hmm. So in those videos, very incriminating footage, and their faces.
I didn't see those.
They did not show us the videos, but in this report, allegedly those videos were seized, and some people that are in the videos are people who have already filed civil suits, and there's people who have not filed civil suits, but faces were shown, and they were contacted, and they were interviewed several times, allegedly. Mm-hmm. And they're going to possibly be summoned to this grand jury if that is, how the case goes.
Yeah.
So there's some witnesses. We don't know what they're saying. And, allegedly, one of those witnesses is a male sex worker.
Child, we didn't heard a lot about these men that have been popping up in the story. It's very crazy.
Now, a lot of men been coming forward, and a lot of people been saying that Diddy swings on both sides.
Yeah,
so
allegedly.
That's not shocking.
Yeah, so they're saying,
I ain't trying to look, allegedly.
Allegedly. Everything that we speak of in this video is all alleged. Okay.
Right. These men in like these high positions, they gotta be some arrogant mofos, because
Yeah.
how do you record this and not think that it's gonna come out, especially when you're doing like criminal stuff, like the
Yes.
sex trafficking and all of that? Like, baby, you didn't think that eventually it was gonna come back on you? Like, I don't understand. And then you got a video, so it's like, how do you even fight it? Like,
Right.
it's crazy.
You know what? It's so okay. So I'm just gonna bring up an example because I remember. I'm just giving you an example how like rich people like how they think. I remember my mom like invited me to like a gala because the bank that she worked at, it was a part of a sponsor for this gala and this whatever. So there's a lot of like wealthy people at this gala, and they were all so strange. When I tell you it was a strange group of people, that made me feel like I feel like when you just have so much money and you don't have a care in the world, you just do odd things because you can. So I
Right.
feel like these celebrities that came from nothing, that have all the money in the
Too
world,
much money.
they begin to dabble into weird things because they know they can get away with it. They know
Yeah.
they can. Ain't nobody gonna go against it because I have the money for the lawyers. I got multiple
It's
lawyers.
arrogant.
Yeah.
Arrogant, like I can do whatever I want to do. And Diddy, he always act like he's just the man on top of the world.
He is
Like
the ringleader.
the
He is the
ringleader.
one. He's the
Yep.
one who has allegedly exposed most of the industry to this weird habits and vices and things, that stories that we've heard over the years, that Diddy parties is crazy. You know, certain people even spoke out and say, yeah, you only go to his parties for a certain amount of time. After this certain hour, it gets crazy, and you don't want to be caught seen at none of these parties after hours.
Well, I heard allegedly that he ain't gonna be the only one that's gonna be getting caught up
Yeah.
in these lawsuits. It's more to come.
Yeah, there's supposed to be some other really, really, really big names
Mm-hmm.
that are
Wasn't Jay-Z allegedly a part of one of those celebrities?
Yep.
Yes.
Trying to say he killed like one of the girls that got pregnant by him.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe it.
Got
'cause he's a
unalived.
part of
Unalived
Beezus.
her.
I don't want to believe it. That's a part of the Beezus.
Right.
I don't want to believe she's with that. So it's all false. So I'm not believing it until it
Listen,
comes
Well,
out.
we don't know.
I
So
don't
it,
put
technically
nothing
it is.
past. I don't put nothing past anybody, because, like you
Yeah,
said, these
shit.
people in these high places,
Yep.
they believe they are all powerful.
Yes.
Most of them have referenced themselves in some way, shape, or form to God or to a
Right.
God. So
Yes.
when you think that highly of yourself, that you think that nothing is above or beyond
Right.
you, and you can,
Right.
you're invincible, and your money can get you out of any situation. So I believe anybody walking this God's green earth is capable of doing anything. So I
Absolutely.
don't put it past them at all.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't blame
So
you.
we'll just have to see, but they're saying that the allegations are not just for sex trafficking, but drug trafficking, money laundering,
Wow.
amongst other things. Like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot of allegations, and they have a lot of proof because he
Mhm.
kept record. Why would you, like you said, like why would you keep record of all this stuff in your home, and you
If
knew
you're
they
gonna
were
be
coming for
shady,
you?
delete it. We all know if you're gonna be a little shady, delete it. What do you need? What do you need a history of it for? You want to go back and watch it? You're sick. You're weird.
Yeah, and that's why he's so sick that he couldn't think about anything but him trying to like
Get off. Mhm.
Nasty.
And my thing was, you knew these people was coming for you. Why did you still have it in your house?
Right.
I thought for
I
sure
think
they
that
wasn't
I don't
finding.
think he knew. I think that he felt he was untouchable.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I thought for sure, I was like, they're not gonna find anything. He's gotten rid of this stuff a long time ago. Like, nah. He said, not my tapes.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the gossip layer.
Woo.
Gossip.
So in the gossip layer, we usually talk about things that are going on in the world of reality television. And so we have a little update with Porsha Williams and Simon Guobadia. Okay, they are Team Petty.
Right. It's
On
been going
both-
down.
On both sides. I'm just like, dang, like they're really going after each other. So over the weekend, Porsha, she had a party at her house, which was their marital home, and which
Right.
he is alleging that she is keeping his children out of, and his children are homeless because of her. And never mind the fact that he could bring his kids with her and they're not her children, she's not responsible for, and they have mothers that they live with. Never mind that. And
never mind the fact that he's not even in the country, so they would be coming to the house to be with who?
Right. Who's going to take care of them in the home?
Right.
Yeah. And she was shaking that tail, that big tail of hers, on somebody's head in the backyard. And then he goes and posts a memory of last Memorial Day weekend where they were all there as a family and it was beautiful and blah, blah, blah. And now his home is being made a spectacle of. Then he goes in to say, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, did you see the part where he said that every home needs a house sitter when the immigrant is away?
Yeah. And then she came back and said something about his immigration. And he was like, I don't think anybody who thinks that there's only 265 days in a year is equipped to speak on immigration law. I was like,
listen, I didn't got the number of the days mixed up too. That don't mean nothing, okay?
Well, 265 days out of the year was a little crazy.
Listen,
it was a little crazy, as well as the Underground Railroad.
It was
the Underground Railroad. But you know what, Porsha, girl, when I was younger, I used to think the same thing about the Underground Railroad. I really thought there was a railroad underground. I really did. I didn't get it. Listen, but I understood later on in life.
As a grown woman, I think by 30 you would know. But you know,
listen, maybe she just never talked about it since she grew up. So that's why when they went, she was looking for the tracks. I mean,
she was looking for them tracks. She was befuddled, bewildered.
She was. But I am curious to see how far this little internet feud is gonna go. I don't know if they're just doing it for kicks and giggles, if they're doing it because the show is taping now. I don't know. But I'm just like,
it's gonna go until they resolve the divorce. They're not done.
I think it has a lot to do with the show. Because why all of a sudden are you guys back to back with it? They are hyping us up. They're hyping
Simon was coming for Porsha for a long time. Like maybe a couple weeks after they announced the divorce, Simon just started coming for Porsha back to back to back. And Porsha wasn't saying nothing. And now she just don't give a damn. So she's gonna say whatever she want to say.
I was gonna say, I think Porsha is having fun with it. Yeah. But Simon, this is true to form for him because he is no stranger to the internet when it comes to speaking his mind. Right. So when him and Fallon had their falling out, he was all up in them comments. Like since we met this man, he has been in the comments.
Right. So, you know what? Do you guys think Simon met his daggone match with Porsha?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Listen, if he ain't met his match with Porsha, I hope he meet his match with Flo because they was on the beach with a picture together. Like, please, Flo, teach him a lesson, okay?
Right. Flo don't teach him a lesson. Her sister will.
Right. And if y'all don't know who we're talking about, these are people from Love and Hip Hop Miami.
Yes, because
whatever her last name is, she's a Haitian artist, and her sister, who's a hot mess.
Yeah, and whoever her sister get with, she got to get with too. So if Flo don't take them down, the sister will take them down.
I know that's right.
Immediately after.
Good luck, Simon.
Maybe during.
Good luck.
Right. All right. Well, let's get into these reviews. So this week, New Jersey was actually good. There was a lot of stuff going on.
A lot going on.
Right. So the show opened up with Margaret and her husband having a little lunch. And I feel like this is when she finally revealed what the actual issue is that she has with Jackie and why she's so upset with her about not getting the book. Like it pretty much all comes down to the fact that Jan died and she felt like Jackie wasn't there for her like she would have expected from her friends. Everyone else was checking in on her and Jackie was MIA.
Nowhere to be found. Yeah.
Right. So for me, I kind of understand with that because like it's important for your friends to show up for you. Like that was her husband for how many years? Like, yeah, they didn't have like the best ending, but they still remain close as friends. They have kids that they share together. Like the least you could do is send a text like, "Hey boo, how you doing today?" Like, you know, like that's all she was saying that all the other girls were doing, and Jackie was just crickets. Like, you know,
and that's supposed to be your real friend. You would at least check on her, like she said. Someone I forget if it was Jen Fester checked on her like 3 times a week. Like when something like that tragic happens, you don't know what people going through day to day. Right. So I would feel some type of way too, for sure.
Yeah,
I get that. Help me understand why she was so offended about not getting her book.
So she was just saying, like, when Jen was writing the book, she was like championing her and like saying like, oh yeah, you could do this, girl. Like, this would be a great thing to do. You're going to help so many people by writing this book. And then Melissa gets a copy of it, which is understandable because they were going to be on a podcast together. But why wouldn't you give the person that wanted you to do it so bad a copy of your book?
Right. And I think maybe if she thought like, oh, well, they were closer than that, like,
yeah,
you know, like if you know you're going to give it to someone else in the friend group, I'm going to hear about it. At least, you know, share with me something. But
right.
I agree with you guys on that one. I totally get Marge's side on that. I know I'm not a Marge fan at all from the least bit. Not a fan.
She had to throw that in there.
Right.
Yeah, I had to throw that really in there. I'm really not a fan of her. But another thing too, though, now this is real though. I just don't agree with how Marge communicates, and I don't agree with how she holds everything in and uses them as like bullets. Well, you didn't do this and you didn't that. I did this for you. I did that. So you're like keeping receipts. And to me, that doesn't show true value of a friend either. I get it. Jackie was wrong. She's definitely wrong. If you guys have that friendship and that closeness, because I get if somebody did that to me, I would be hurt the way Marge. But I would have communicated that a long time ago instead of waiting for Jackie to come to me and being like, why don't you stick up for me? Or, well, you don't do this for me. You don't do this for that for me. Well, that's what bothers me about Marge is just the way she handles things, and she uses things and weaponizes every little thing that she can without truly giving somebody a chance and communicating to them like, I didn't like that you did that. Just the same way she did that with Jen Fessler. Was Jen Fessler wrong? 100%. But Marge's delivery, that's what irritates me about it, because her delivery rubs me the wrong way. Why are you waiting for your friend to come up to you to let them know this bothered me, for you to wait to come back and shoot back at them? Oh, well, this bothered me too. You didn't do this for me, and this is why I'm mad at you.
Right.
That's lame. And you too old to act like that, in my opinion. So I get it. But Marge's delivery, she could be heard so much better if she would just go to the person first before there's ever an issue between the both of you. And that's just my opinion on that one.
No, I agree. She be going hard. She is holding that stuff in her arsenal, and she be ready to unleash at any given given point. Because I be like, dang, girl. Like, a lot of the times it feels like, is this warranted, that reaction?
Right.
Like, I feel like she doesn't always say it though, because it's like, okay, maybe she just is trying to like get past it. Like, okay, I'm gonna just
she's trying to get past it.
But I'm saying, like, I think she tries to like let it slide, and then when you come for her, it's like, okay, I've been trying to let stuff slide, and now I'm unleashed. And it's not
that's why I'm a firm
believer.
That's why I'm a firm believer of not letting stuff slide, because if you gonna hold it for later, it's bothering you. Like, you need to share it when it's bothering you, so that you can have a true friendship. Because if you're holding something in the back of your mind and waiting for an opportunity, not saying she's waiting for opportunity, but like, you wouldn't bring it up if it didn't bother you.
No.
Yeah.
So.
And also, if you're a friend, we're all, the older we get, we have to understand you need to learn your friends. And I don't think it's fair for you to have the expectation for all your friends to respond the same way that you would respond, or to communicate or react the same way you would. It's literally just like being in a relationship. You would learn your partner the same way you would learn your friend. And if you're considering this close of a friend, then you know that that's maybe not how they communicate. That's not how they see things. And you should know, like, maybe that wasn't the right time for me to bring up how I felt when you come to me about telling you how I've made you feel. Because at that moment in time with Jackie,
both ways.
Huh?
I think that goes both ways though. Like,
oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, if that's the case, Jackie should know that Margaret expects for her friends to show up for her. So she can't be like surprised when she has an issue with her, or she's throwing like, I mean, she can't be surprised because she knows Margaret is not like I don't want to say she's not an upfront person, but like, I don't, that's not even what I'm looking for. I don't want to say she's not a confrontational person. She definitely will have the conversation, but because she likes to let stuff slide, she's not going to immediately say it. But I feel like because Jackie knows that Marge requires her friends to be there for her when Jackie comes, and I don't even remember what the thing was that she was like trying to get mad at Margaret for, but she should expect for Marge to have a reaction based on her not, doing what she expects as a friend too.
Right.
But was that the right time for Marge to bring all of that up when Jackie felt like when she said, like, Marge, I feel like you don't have my back? Because who's Danielle? Like, for just a while ago, you thought Danielle was a bozo, just
Right.
last season, just because she was on the Teresa side. You know what I mean? But now all of a sudden, because she's cool with Melissa, now you're cool with her, and now all of a sudden you're having her back. So I can kind of get why Jackie's like, what's going on here? Because I'm saying it wasn't fair that everybody was invited but me, and I was excluded. And all of a sudden you're explaining like, well, and I'd be like, what? Like, you're my friend. So if you had an issue with me, why you didn't pull me aside and let me know? Why are you talking about this in front of Danielle of all people?
But let's also note that Jackie is a friend of the show now. So she's kind of a bit of an outsider. Like, when you're a friend of the show, like,
she's not going to be invited to everything.
You're not going to be invited to everything. And you kind of need the drama.
Right.
In order to make yourself still relevant on the show, you need an issue. So
yeah, right now she's definitely working on
between her and Danielle.
For sure.
Yeah, but it was very blatant though. Like, Danielle even said, like, I invited everybody, but I did not invite Jackie. Like,
but Jackie also said to Danielle, I'm friends with everyone except you. So why would I invite someone who said that they're not my friend to my party?
And that's true.
Like, I don't understand why Jackie feels entitled to a party that's being thrown by somebody that she doesn't even like. Like, that doesn't make sense.
And also, Jackie was super rude to Danielle last season, like, talking about her clothes, super. I totally get it. If I was Danielle,
you wouldn't invite.
I wouldn't invite.
So that's why I don't understand why she's mad. Like, girl, you just mad? You just want to be mad to be mad? Like,
That's why they were saying that she's trying to have an issue because she is a friend of the show. So she needs something to keep the conversation going.
Yeah. I get that. I just don't like Marge. I don't like her.
Okay, girl.
Well, we have to be objective and see.
I was very objective.
You did a great job. I'm actually very proud of that.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the Jen Fessler and Rachel conversation.
Right. So do y'all think that Jen is really naive enough to think that Teresa bringing up the whole jail thing was not to tarnish his character now. It was just only to talk about what he did in the past. Like, the way Jen was saying it was like, yeah, she said that he's a good guy now. He's a great father and a husband and all of this. All of that stuff was in the past. It's like, you bringing it up tarnishes who he is now. Like, how could you be so naive to think that that's not her intention? Like, if you think he's a great person now, why bring that up in the first place?
Right. That was her way of, like, cleaning it up. But like, when you said it, you knew the damage that it would do.
Right.
Because you didn't say, way back in the day, I heard you was a drug dealer. It's like, I heard you was the biggest drug dealer in whatever county.
In Bergen County.
Those are buzzwords. Nobody cares about how old he was. And I don't even think she implied that it was like something he was currently doing, because she said, I heard you was, or you were, whatever. But it could have been 5 years ago. It could have been 2 years ago. But the fact that he was 17 years old is like, okay. Yeah. Is that worth bringing up?
The food is they never did or said nothing about Teresa before all of this. Is that what we're?
But we're not doing tit for tat though. We're talking about
this is still a show, and we know how Teresa operates. And you,
we talking about
something completely different.
Yeah, but that's the point that I was getting to, is that Jen Fessler told Rachel 2 episodes ago when they were in the kitchen together. She said, Teresa fights low, and if you go after her, she's gonna come after you 10 times harder. So that's just how Teresa operates. Is she right? No. She wrong for that.
That was the point, though.
Yeah,
I think that was the point, that she was intentional about what she was saying.
Yeah,
right. And the fact that Jen was trying to make it seem like, oh, it's not a big deal. They were talking. She was talking about years ago.
I think Jen.
She thinks he's a great husband and father now.
I think Jen is sick of the drama, and I think she's
Yeah.
sick of this hate Teresa train that everybody's trying to jump on because she knows. I mean, look at this. She can't even look at Teresa one way without Marge crying or Rachel crying about it. It's just like,
Right.
this is
That's
stupid,
facts.
So she's probably, this is how my mom operates. That's why I know she don't like all that drama. Like, move on. Like, who cares? Like, you know how she operates. You guys are going tit for
Yeah.
tat. What does this really have to do with me? Now, Jen, you wrong for that. Now, Jen, fessy, messy, fessy. You wrong for that because you're supposed to be loyal to Marge. I don't
Right.
know if so much you were supposed to be loyal to Rachel. Rachel, this doesn't make sense why she's crying. I get it. You guys hung out a lot. I totally get that.
Well,
But
they
at the
talked
end of,
about it. She went to Christmas with her. Like,
Right.
they
so,
actually spent
She
real
invited her
time
into her
So-
together.
family.
so
And
Yeah.
that's not a so.
That
Inviting
is a
your
so.
whole family to my family's house for Christmas, that's personal.
Off camera. This is not
Right.
like
This
for the
wasn't even being
show.
recorded. And they
Right.
they both sat there and said that it was meaningful to them. So it wasn't
Mhm.
like, I don't think it's given like you feel like I'm more of a friend than I
But
feel
to
like you are to
expect
me.
to expect that type of loyalty from a friend that you just met for not too long ago, and especially a cast member on a show that has nothing but drama. Rachel's naive for this one. If I were me, I would never have these type of expectations, even though we were friends. I would wait. I would hold back and peep stuff first. It takes a long time. Maybe that's me. Like, it takes a long time for me to trust somebody that they
Right.
will have 100% my back and 100% have loyal to me, because I've been burned a lot of my past from friendships. So I
Right.
know
But okay,
better.
so let me ask you this. Would you invite someone to your house around your family that you don't trust?
Because I'm overly friendly. I
Oh
am.
no, I
That's
would
an
not.
I wouldn't. I would
that's just
never.
me. I'm overly friendly.
Like,
Especially
how
not
do
on
you
Christmas
talk
because
about
I
not
got my
trusting?
kids. Nah.
Yeah, how do you talk about not trusting people or saying that, invalidating a friendship, saying that it's for a show thing and you can't really trust them, but you invite them
Well,
around your
because
family, you invite them to their house, you
they
hang out
haven't done
off
anything to
camera,
me yet.
and they
They
both
haven't.
said the relationship developed quickly. Like, they had a
Right.
strong bond that developed quickly. They both agreed with the level of friendship that they have. Jen is just like, I feel like Jen just wanted to be right.
I think Jen wants to be on both sides because she's also a friend of the show, right? So
Mhm.
she is like, I'm trying to be cool with everybody because I want to film with everybody. I've said this like 3 times because I just really feel like that is her MO. I think she does want peace. I think she does want everybody to be cool, but in that same space, she's messy.
Yeah.
So she's
Why
not.
does Dolores get to do it? Dolores is friends with everybody.
But
Then why does
Dolores is
Dolores get
not.
to do it?
Dolores don't
Dolores
lie about her stance though.
Right. She never pretends to be on one side.
Never.
Ever.
That's true.
Never.
That's
And
why
nobody
Dolores
gonna
does it.
tell Dolores who she is and is not gonna be friends with.
Right.
Like, I
And
think
Danielle
that's
is the same way. That's why they don't trip on Danielle. Danielle never, up to this point, Danielle has never said, I'm not going to be friends with Teresa and I'm not going to be friends with Melissa. She's always just said, I'm in the middle.
that's
And
where
that's
Jen
why they
messed
can do
up.
that.
That's
That's
where
where
Jen
Jen
messed up.
Fessler messed up.
She messed up 100%.
That's the difference.
I just
Yeah.
think this was a lesson learned for Rachel. She was very naive in my opinion. This is a reality TV show. And
Yeah.
yes, I think she got a little too excited because she finally got accepted from an in crowd. And to be honest with you, I think that's what it was. And Rachel, if you're ever listening to this,
Dang.
now you know better.
Oh,
Don't
wait.
trust none of these hoes. These hoes will never have your back the way you want to have it. You think Melissa's going to have your back? If it doesn't benefit her, she ain't going to have your back either. Marge,
I
she
agree.
surely ain't going to have your back, girl.
I agree.
It's just not going to happen. You're on a reality TV show.
I agree. Because at the end of the day, I do think she was naive to think that Jen Fessler was going to be loyal to the soil. I think anybody on this that met somebody on the show, like if you weren't friends 10 years prior, I don't think you should think that anybody is going to be loyal to the soil on this show for you. Because at the end of the day, it's every man for themselves. And everybody wants screen time. Everybody want to get paid. But do I think Rachel was wrong for thinking that Jen should have had her back? No.
Sure.
Was she a little naive? Yeah, to think that, that wouldn't happen, but I don't think she was wrong because like we talked about, they did establish a relationship. It wasn't like they only filmed together and hadn't seen each other. They had a relationship off camera. So I think
and
Jen
all that
is just
crying and all
wishy-washy.
that shit she doing, all that crying and shit. Excuse my language. All that crying. I just stop it, girl. Put your big panties on and stop all that crying. You want
Can we
to act big
talk-
and bad in front of Teresa? Stop all that crying. Just
Can we
please.
talk about her before and after pictures?
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I was gonna wait till we got to the softball game because
I'm
that's
sorry. I'm sorry.
Listen,
I digress. We'll come back to that.
no. Listen, it looked the same to me.
Trina,
Oh,
I feel like at this point you say anything.
I don't know. Listen, I know she said she got a nose job. It looked pointy when she was younger too. I feel like it's just contouring. She just contoured too much.
no, she has the Whoville.
That
nose.
Whoville, it's bony. It looks really bad. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, what's going on with the baseball? Now,
No, we got to go to Biscuit's party.
Yeah.
That's right.
Next.
Yeah. So Jen got her daughter a dog and decided to throw a birthday party, a costume party. He really did not win the costume party. Okay, in my opinion,
He won because her daughter said he was gonna win.
Yeah,
I know.
she did. She said, "My dog's gonna win." Okay, your dog won.
Yeah, but really, the little lady won, not Biscuit.
Dolores is with a Louis Vuitton outfit.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Slade.
hands down.
Yeah. Okay, so how long do you guys think it's gonna take for Louis to scam Gia's boyfriend since he works for her?
He probably didn't already did it. He don't even know. I was like, why would you have your? But I think Gia really genuinely loves Louis.
She does,
and she really looks at him like Teresa looks at him. I think everybody is under his spell.
They've been drinking.
They are drinking the Kool-Aid,
right?
They are definitely drinking the Kool-Aid. But I'm like, history has shown you. Why would you work for this man? I've been working for him.
Right. I'm just saying he should have talked to Frank.
But
like
maybe
her
he's doing a job.
stepdad. She's gotta that's her stepdad, and she sees the happiness so far that he's brought to her mother, and she's not gonna go against him if he hasn't really done any ill will. Now with with getting in between Melissa and Joe, that was already there. That was already there and already tumultuous.
I'm talking about as a businessman.
Yeah.
There's so much.
I don't know. That's uncomfortable. Like, if they have a good relationship, she probably trusts him.
But why They could go play golf or
they could have a relationship.
They don't have to work together.
No.
So what business? Because I didn't catch on to that. So what business are they going into with each other?
Whatever his company is, Gia is saying that her boyfriend is working for him. I don't know what Louis' company is. I just know everyone who works there gets scammed, allegedly.
I did not hear about that, and I don't. Well, how are they getting scammed? By how? They're just not getting paid, or what?
Well, we could have found out at the reunion if Dolores wasn't shushing Frank, because Frank was trying to tell how he got scammed, but Dolores said that wasn't nobody gonna talk about her son, so we don't know.
I don't blame Dolores, because what you're not going to use my son is for a storyline on this daggone platform, because my son ain't got nothing to do with none of this.
But apparently things will come out later on in the season about Louis and his finances and everything that's going on. So maybe we'll learn a little bit more about that. But what do y'all think about Gia being present at the table for this party?
I see nothing wrong with it.
So here's why I don't think that she should have been sitting at the table. Okay. I feel like even though she's grown now, these women are way older than you. They've been dealing with stuff that you have not been a part of. So the fact that you are here chiming into stuff that you don't even know about, it's like weird to me. And then you 23, but these women are like in their 50s if they aren't already, they're close to their 50s or in their 50s. So y'all don't even relate to the same stuff. So what is the purpose? I don't know.
I just feel like as a mother, I wouldn't want my daughter there because I know how these women could get. And Gia got a mouth on her as well. She's not afraid to speak her mind. She's not afraid to stand up for what she believes in, which I think is amazing. However, it's unfair to have someone's child at the table that is so opinionated, and I'm not supposed to go back at her.
Right. So that was the next thing I was going to say.
I just feel like it's unfair for her to be there and for her to just, she can chime in on whatever she wants to, say whatever she wants. But as a mother, I wouldn't put my child in that position because it's always one. Most people will respect the fact that listen, Gia, I know you somebody's child. I ain't trying to go there with you. But when drinks are involved, and if she start shooting off at the mouth, and somebody start going towards her, now I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I just, as a mom, I would not put my child in that position, whether she was 23 or 34. I just don't feel like she was not a part of the group in that way. They watched her grow up from a child. And that's just my opinion. I don't think she should be.
You guys got to remember that Gia's been on the show since she was a little girl.
I just said that.
Gia, I know that. But listen, can I finish? Now, listen, I let y'all talk now. Now let me talk.
Go ahead now.
So what I'm trying to get at is Gia also had to grow up very fast. Now, both her parents was in jail now. They had to go in jail. She had to take care of her little sisters. She had to grow up very fast. So Gia, I feel like, in my opinion, is a lot more mature than the average 22, 23-year-old girl is going to be. Also, I don't know. I'm very close with my mom. So I'm used to, like, her and her girlfriends. Now, granted, yes, this is a show. Her and her girlfriends and all of that. Like, my mom will invite me with her to go to dinner with her and her friends, and we'll all sit down and have a glass of wine together. I'll chime in and ask questions like, what? But I never felt like it was inappropriate because I'm an adult and I make my own decisions at this point. And I feel like, what is Teresa supposed to say? Like, no, you're not allowed to come at my house and hang out with me when they're over here. And it's not like Gia,
but they weren't at her house.
I think it's a little different
Jen's
though.
house or whatever. My mom invites me to her friend's house too.
But would you chime into a conversation that your mom was having with her friends? If they were getting into an argument, you would chime in with your mom, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now that puts you in a position to where it's
somebody
fair game. Right. And they're gonna cry, oh, that's my daughter. My daughter is off limits. She shouldn't be at the table if she's
not off limits because she's an adult. She's not off limits.
Teresa is
that's what you say, but that's not how they'll react. No. If somebody says anything to Gia, it's World War III. We already saw that with Jackie when she made the analogy of Gia being on something.
Right. I feel like with anybody at the table, it should be fair game, especially on a show like this. Like, if you throw in your child, just know you threw her in the war zone.
Right.
But I don't feel like
Teresa threw her into this conversation.
No, I'm not saying she intentionally threw her in the war zone. What I'm saying is this is a reality television show where they often fight at these dinner tables.
They do.
So if you invite your daughter to the dinner table, just know she is fair game.
Right. She could be in the crossfire.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, as a mother, I would not put my daughter in that position because I know these ladies. I know how they can get. I know how the conversations get. And I know my child. Because she was ready to fight her uncle.
Right.
So,
I mean, I don't think she was ready to fight her uncle. She was just standing up for herself because Joe was coming at her a little crazy.
The point is, Gia is not afraid to jump in where she feels necessary. And I just think, as a mother, is not responsible to put your child in that position unless you're ready to unleash her to the wolves. Right. That's all I'm saying. I think that Gia is very intelligent. I think she can hold her own. But I think that oftentimes in these circles, they always say children are off limits, no matter how old they are. Children are off limits.
Right.
And if children are off limits, they should stay.
Let me ask you this. At what age does Gia need to be to now not could be considered a child?
It's not her show. It's not her show. I don't think she should be.
She's been on the show though. She's been on the show since she was a little girl.
But as a little girl.
Yeah. It's not the same. Like they're not her friends. Why does she need to be sitting at the table with them?
Like, it would be different.
But wasn't it Jen's daughter's like dog party or whatever?
But Jen's daughters weren't even sitting with her. Like,
because they were actually like little kids. I don't know. I just feel like she's an adult now.
The point is, Gia is not friends with Jen, Dolores, Jackie. They don't kiki and talk on the phone all the time.
We don't know that.
Why is she sitting there? And like Kendra said, I don't have a problem. It would be over.
I don't have a problem with her being there if she's fair game.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I didn't think Teresa was gonna play that card of this is my child, then I wouldn't have anything to say. Of course, she's an adult. She can speak her mind. She can do whatever she wants to do. But at the end of the day, that ain't the reality of the situation.
Wasn't Melissa doing interviews about Gia? Wasn't Melissa already like talking about Gia? Like, I don't
I
know.
don't
I
talk
just
about
feel like
Melissa.
that's, huh?
Melissa's daughter wasn't at the table. I'm just
Right.
saying.
No,
I'm
I
speaking
know
on.
that. But I brought that up for an example. Like, I think everybody knows, like, she's
Antonia
grown.
ain't never been sitting at the table with them while they talking
Antonia
about
had just
other
turned
people.
18. That's why. What does she have to? She ain't got no business up there. She's still.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
enough.
We're talking about
Gia was Antonia's age chiming in too. Like,
When? When?
oh my God,
we're
are you
talking
kidding?
about one thing, and you trying to bring in Melissa to prove a
Right.
Well, ain't that what they do to Teresa?
look. Forgive her,
Listen,
y'all. Anyway,
Forgive
let's
it.
move on.
Let's agree
Right.
to disagree.
It's all right. So, what do we think about them bringing the hairdresser on to like try to put down Danielle? Like,
I heard
Strategic.
production did that. First of all, I heard
Yeah.
production did that.
okay, well, guess what? If production did that, that's fine, but it wouldn't be at my event because now that has started an issue with her and Danielle. Like, and then it was like Jen was trying to like coach her to say what she wanted to say. If it was a
That's what I
production
said.
thing,
Jen did that on purpose. She said it in the interview. She said,
yeah, she said
"Ain't
I
no
brought
say
her.
said it."
Right, I brought her because I wanted her to say it. I don't want it to be me bringing it up. I want it to come from her mouth.
Yeah.
So why is everybody mad at Teresa then?
Who's mad at Teresa?
Everybody's like, oh, Danielle's the one that was coming at Teresa in the next episode.
Girl,
Well, she was coming
can
at
we get-
Teresa.
We got to
She-
get to that episode. We don't know all the details.
Right.
Oh,
Well, from what I
golly.
gathered, she was upset with her because she felt like you're my friend and you didn't defend me. And we were talking about this ahead of time, and the word defend seems to be like the issue there. I don't think there was necessarily anything to defend. However, I do think that if it were me and and I wasn't present and my friends were present and somebody was bringing up a matter in regards to me, I don't think that they should sit there and not say anything.
Yeah, no.
Now,
You
if
need to
it
say
were
to her.
me and people were bringing up my friend, and I'd be like, hold on, she ain't
Right.
here.
Right.
What we're not gonna do is talk about her when she's not here. So if you want to talk to her about that, y'all can talk about it at another time, or I can get her on the
Are
phone.
Danielle,
Right.
Jen, and Teresa that kind of friends though?
Well, I think that's what her expectations were. That's what I'm saying. I think that's what her
when-
expectations were.
I'm so confused because Rachel and Marge talking crazy trash about Teresa in front of her
But
face.
Teresa's
She's
not the one
defending
saying that
once.
mad at Danielle about being defended. Danielle is the one that's mad.
No, that's what I'm saying. Danielle is expecting one thing from a group of friends, but she's not giving it in return. So how can you have an expectation of this type of friendship when you're not giving the same thing? So what kind of platform do you think you really have on to think you can say, oh, I expect this from you, but you're not doing the same thing? So that's why it's giving Delulu in my opinion. It
Yeah.
really
Okay,
is.
before we go back to this episode, so
That
I just
is
want
the
to know,
episode, though.
should the hairstylist really be upset about her not being able to sit in a section that she didn't pay for?
I would be upset. I'm not gonna do your hair for free and then you kick me out of VIP. That's
But
weird.
you're a hairstylist.
Right.
So
And
I
then
did a favor.
it
Then
was
pay me.
Jen, and she said that Jen and Teresa helped her throw it. So why didn't Jen or Teresa say
Invite her in.
okay?
Because
But why
I
is
think
everything
Jen-
always on Jen or Teresa? I mean, this is Danielle's party.
Well, Danielle wasn't even in the section, so it would be easier for Jen and Teresa to say she's cool.
But it's
I think
Danielle's
Jen-
party.
I think Jen said that they already had their entourages, right?
I don't remember that.
I
She
don't know
said
that.
something about we all had our entourages there with us.
Oh yeah,
But there was these pink wristbands. So ahead of I feel like in order for the hairdresser to get in that section, she would have had to been a part of someone else's group. Like your name alone is not going to get you in that section.
Mhm.
So I think sometimes these hairdressers, sometimes the hairdressers are friends with the talent. But if you were that close, they would have had you with them.
and she wouldn't have had to buy a ticket.
That's what I'm saying. She bought a
Right.
ticket. Like, girl, if you knew you was gonna get VIP, you wouldn't have purchased a ticket. Somebody
Right.
would send you an email and say, "Hey, your name is on this list. Go to this door."
To
Because
get
it's
your
a whole
ticket
separate
in.
door.
Ticket.
Right.
be supportive. Like she was by like that's the way it came across for me. I may be wrong. It
It's
seemed like
giving
she brought the
groupie.
ticket to be supportive because didn't Danielle meet with her to get her hair done before the event? It just seems odd to
Yeah,
me.
but
It seems
yeah.
a little
But
odd.
my thing is, okay, so you saying she went to go get her hair done with the lady, and because of that, she should be in the section. But like, if that was her payment for doing her hair, why does she need to buy a ticket?
What payment for doing her hair? There was no payment.
You're saying because she did her hair, she should have been able to sit in VIP. She shouldn't get her hair for free, right?
Yeah.
So her sitting in VIP is kind of like a compensation for her doing her hair.
I would think so because I
So
heard.
my thing is, if that's the
Danielle never
compensation,
even
why
gave
did
a
she
shout
buy a
out.
ticket?
I just think that in those situations, that stuff needs to be discussed ahead of time. If you walk into a section and everybody has wristbands on and nobody hands you a wristband, you're not supposed to be there. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah, you could feel some type of way, but you didn't talk about it ahead of time. When you was doing her hair the day before, you should have said, hey, girl, I bought a ticket, but let me know if there's any guest list that I need to get on, you know, whatever, I'm going to be there. If she would have offered it to you, or I go to a lot of events, and if somebody I know that's throwing the event, they're going to send me a text like, hey, your name is on the list, go to this door, or go to this person to get your wristband, or whatever. You don't just show up at an event and think you just finna be walking in to VIP and you're not walking in with nobody.
Right.
You're the hairdresser. You're not the talent.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I totally get that. I just think Danielle just came across kind of rude. Like, well, who is she? And it's like, well, what do you mean, who is she? If you didn't, if this was a nobody, then why did you reach out to her to do your hair? That's like somebody that's
want her hair done.
been
right.
No.
I don't think she know her personally.
She's been doing the cast member's hair on the Jersey set for
Right.
years.
Like,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean that Danielle knows her like that.
Not only Jersey, she's done multiple other celebrity. She's a celebrity hairstylist. This is not
Yeah,
just like
and I think that's why she called her.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, since I have a higher status than you, I'm not just a hairstylist. So you just got on the show last year, and okay, maybe she was wrong for assuming she should have been a VIP. But Danielle, get off your high horse. You just got on the show. You're not at this high status where you're like, who are you? Because it's like, well, who are you, Danielle?
Yeah.
That's rude. That comes off rude to me.
It was rude. It was rude the way she said it, because I thought she was gonna come back and say, I'm so sorry. I don't know why they put you out like that. Like that was uncalled for. I did not have your name on the VIP list, so they were doing their job. But I apologize for them treating you that way. Like that's how I would have handled it. But Danielle is, I mean,
who told Danielle that they were talking shit about her anyways? I'm confused because they weren't really talking. I get y'all's point. Like, don't try to make it seem like I'm one way or another. But Danielle kind of proved her point. You were that way by the way you're responding. Like, who is she? Why does she need to be in VIP? Well, girl, you kind of being rude right now about the whole entire situation. So the hairdresser, in my opinion, seemed like the story was very spot on. I just think she was explaining her situation. That's all. And I'm just curious who told her, who was being messy, that they were talking trash about Danielle. That's what I want to figure out.
Messy.
It could have been anybody. It could have been one of her other friends. It could have been one of her other friends that wasn't even on the show. What was that I was watching recently? And
that one had to have been somebody from the birthday party.
I'm saying it could have been somebody else that was in the VIP section that witnessed everything happen and went back and told Danielle, like, oh, they was talking trash or whatever. Oh no, this happened at the table. Okay, so
yeah, this happened at the table.
Okay. Yeah, so it probably was Jen, Messy Fessy.
Yeah,
Jen or Dolores.
Dolores, no, because on the next the preview, Dolores is explaining like this is what she said. So
well, we don't know the whole response because all we're talking about is next week's episode.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about.
Dolores, the whole time they were at that table was like,
right.
Like,
he was trying to figure out why Jackie was going so hard for Teresa. Like, girl, last season you didn't like her. Like, when did the switch up happen?
Dolores looked hot. She looked hot, and like, why am I here? And what are they talking about?
Right.
So
speaking of Danielle, let's talk about her relationship with her father and how now not only is she not talking with her brother, but now she got some beef with her father because she didn't like a decision that he made. So she's not speaking to him right now because her father, you know more than I do, Sierra. Her father, something happened with her father to where she didn't agree with how him not making the brother do something that she wanted the brother to do.
Yeah, so her and her brother have been at odds for a while now and didn't even invite Danielle to his wedding.
Right.
Sent a, I'm only giving background for people that may not know. Danielle sent a gift for their new baby. Sorry, Olivia's grabbing stuff. And the brother sent the gift right on back. I was like, that's kind of hurtful. That's pretty rude.
Yeah.
So the father, I guess, took a side and maybe didn't stand up for Danielle the way she expected him to, and cut her father off because of it. So, and what's interesting is Danielle's really not giving us too much insight, and I'm curious as to see, because it'll make her look kind of bad, and she don't want to give too much information.
Yeah.
It
Because
seems like it's a pattern though with Danielle. Like Danielle gets very offended when she
yes,
feels like people don't have her back. And
yeah,
that's a reason for her to cut off people. So
And
yes,
it
maybe
probably
that's
stems from her family
something
dynamic.
yeah.
I know.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So
Yeah.
I
maybe
can.
like that's why her and Jen are gonna start to beef and like, you know, all the relationship. Like if she feels like you don't have her back, then she's gonna move on.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know what?
trigger.
That's really sad. I low-key can relate to Danielle. That's what I'm trying to work on, that side of me, with cutting people off if they do anything wrong to me. But then also I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, well, I have boundaries now, where if I give you so many chances and you keep disrespecting those chances and disrespecting my boundaries, and I feel like you don't have my back, then you no longer have a place in my life anymore. But to the point, you got to figure out what that is so
Right.
that you're not utilizing that in such a toxic way where you're cutting really beautiful people out of your life due to you not knowing, one, emotional intelligence, two, conflict resolution. And
Right.
a lot of us in our adult years were not taught at all conflict resolution nor emotional intelligence, because we always want to feel like how I feel is how I feel, and if you don't agree with it, then you're out of my life, which is a little bit
Right.
unfair. You
Right.
have to teach people how to treat you. You have to teach people how to respect you. It's not so common the way we would
Right.
want it to be common. What do you
But
guys think?
sometimes you teach people how to treat you by setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't have to necessarily cut people off, like as far as parents and things like that. You don't give them certain amount of access, you know, when you're establishing those boundaries. But then because when something happens and people are no longer here with us, you suffer much longer
Yes.
when you
Right.
haven't resolved those relationships and healed
Mm-hmm.
those relationships. So when you don't know how much time you have on this earth or how much they have on this earth. So
Yep.
when you are just avoidant and you just completely separate yourself from the issue, it doesn't solve it either. And I think that's why she's dealing with so much and she responds to people the way that she does, because
Yes.
she has a lot of hurt, and you know, she's unable to heal because she just cuts everything and everybody
Cuts
off. And
everything
so
off without processing it.
exactly, and it's just going to hurt her even more, and all of her relationships are going to suffer because of those are very significant relationships.
Yeah.
And when you're
I
not dealing with that,
I
how you supposed to
went
deal with other people?
I went 10 years. You guys know me. I'm very open, I'm very candid, and I'm healed from this now. We have a great relationship. I went 10 whole years without talking to my dad.
Wow.
10 whole years.
Wow.
And my motto used to be, with friends, I'd be like, you think I'm not going to cut you off? I cut my father off for 10 years. You think I'm not going to have a problem with cutting you off? And that, reflecting on it, was such a disgusting thing that I
Yeah.
used to say. That's not a thing that you
That's not
just
what you
are
brag about.
prideful on, because
Yeah.
Right.
in my adulthood, after doing some healing and reflecting, I go, well, what if my dad passes away? What if he dies? And I just have been harping on the things that hurt me, and blah, 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 all of that. I'm going to regret out of all the years that I missed with rebuilding a relationship with him and accepting him for who he is today. And I wish that Rachel, I wish that Danielle would realize that, yes, he may have handled things the way that you didn't want him to handle things, but at the end of the day, That's still your father. And
Mhm.
he has every right to be in his grandchildren's life. She won't even allow him to see the grandchildren. He
Yeah.
can't even come around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
sad. It's really sad.
It
Hopefully she
is.
gets the healing for that, because I'm starting to see that trickling down to her friendships, the way that she's
Right.
processing things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the softball game, because this is where things get a little more sticky. We have a lot of conversations unfolding at this softball game.
Mm-hmm.
So Marge and Jackie have another conversation. How did that go,
fight.
Katrina? A fight.
So yeah, they got into a conversation about the book again.
Right.
And this is where Marge finally tells Jackie, like, hey, like, you are not a real friend to me. Like, my friends know that this is the year anniversary of Jan dying, and they've checked on me multiple times throughout the week. I haven't heard from you at all. And then that's when Jackie's like, oh, it's been a year. Da, 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 da. And then she talks about the book and how she's the person who championed her for getting the book. And like, she supported her and all of these things when she was trying to get this book started. And Jackie flips it and says, well, are you trying to say that you're the reason that I got published and da 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 da? And it's like, girl, no, I'm just saying I supported you. The least you could do is let me read your book. Like,
Right.
and like, it just went from there. But it seemed like during the fight, like, Jackie was so intent on making her point that she wasn't listening to the hurt that Margaret was finally trying to tell her that she was feeling, you know?
Right.
So
Marge brought it up at a wrong time. Nobody's gonna hear you when they ask you first, like, how they're feeling. Nobody's ever, if you're not gonna listen, Marge has every right. I agree. Marge has every right to feel the way she feels. I totally 100% agree with that. But if a friend comes to you first about, this is how you're making me feel, and you don't even acknowledge that, and then you jump to how I've made you feel, I'm not going to
Mhm.
be receptive to that, because now you pushed aside how
My
you've
feelings.
made me feel as a friend, and I cannot hear a word you're saying right now, and now I'm offended, and now I feel
Mhm.
like my back is against the wall. Now I feel attacked. And some
Mhm.
people, that's how they are. So I feel like if Jackie and Marge are going to be friends, which that probably is out the window now, but if they're going to be
Mhm.
friends, they got to learn at their big ass age how to communicate and how one another can be receptive to how they feel. Because
Right.
Jackie, if you know, like we talked earlier, that she's very sensitive to these type of things, then why wouldn't you be cognizant and aware of reaching out to your friend, knowing that she's having a
Right.
but
hard time?
didn't the conversation start with Jackie just saying that she felt like Marge had a problem with her? I'm trying to remember how they even started
No,
the
because
conversation.
Jackie said to Danielle, like, well, I know you guys all had a party and you didn't invite me. I was the only one uninvited. She was like, that's not very nice.
Mhm.
And she was like, I just don't understand why you didn't invite me. Marge wasn't even part of the conversation. Marge
Mhm.
decided to jump in and immediately have Danielle's back and said, well, X, Y, and Z. And that's when Jackie said, I feel like you don't have my back. I feel like you'll never take my side. And
Right.
that's when that had the conversation started. I don't know why Marge jumped in. Marge, why did you jump into that?
I think
But
because
she
she was
was
waiting
already
for
on
She
go.
was waiting for the right moment.
she was
Yeah.
waiting for opportunity to say what she had to say. And I think
Yeah.
it's also human nature when you are feeling some way about somebody and they come to
Mhm.
you about their grievance and you have a grievance about them as well, to just blurt
Mhm.
that out, because we
Right.
see it often in most conversations. I
Right.
think it's human nature, and it's something
Mhm.
that I wish did not happen, but it just is what it is. Because if you already got something on your heart and your mind when you see that person, and then
Right.
they coming at you about something, it's like,
Yeah.
girl, you
You
did
just
worse than
waiting.
me. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I cannot stand, like, that's why I need a friendship that I feel comfortable enough to let you know, like, I'm not feeling how you're treating me.
Right.
Mhm.
I cannot handle a friendship where I feel like I have to walk on eggshells and I have to find the right time
Mm-hmm.
to
But
let
that's
you
not a
know how I
friendship.
feel. It's
Right.
not. But
Yeah.
some of them are, because some people don't like that kind of stuff. They think that's confrontational. They really do. Some
And
people
I think
don't.
it grows over time, because you can start relationships, like, of course, like when we were younger too, we didn't always face things head on in our friendships, but as
Mhm.
we got older and we matured and we saw the value in,
Right.
like, facing those conversations head on, we started to exercise that more. At that age, they should definitely know the value in speaking up about how you feel. But some people, I feel like some people just have not even matured in that area, even at that age.
You know what? And you absolutely right. You are absolutely, because my mom, she's like in her 60s, and she told me about a friend that, this is a couple of years ago. And I was like, they still acting like that at that age, being petty and catty. I was like, that's really crazy. Because I feel
Yeah.
like if we ever get to that age and we still acting stupid and petty and hyper emotional, hypersensitive, pray for me, Lord. Just say I'm praying, and let me know that the devil is busy and that you need to pray for me. Please release me from
Yeah.
that. I don't want to be like that.
I mean, most girl groups, they handle their situations behind people's backs. They'll go and talk to everybody else in the friend group besides the person that they have the issue with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get dealt with until it goes full circle around. The whole group has talked about it.
Right.
Until telephone happens.
And then it comes up to the person who they had the issue with. And then it's like, that person is like, well, dang, everybody been talking about it. Why you ain't talk to me? And a lot of friendships end because of that.
Yeah.
So,
but I do think, so I agree. But I think sometimes, like, I'm a person, I need somebody to bounce how I feel off, because sometimes I can be dramatic. So Kendra is my person that I call, like, okay, so am I tripping, or did this really happen the way I think it happened?
Right. And I think that's okay to do.
I can have the conversation.
I think that's okay to do, to go to like one person, but we talking about you going to everybody else, you know,
but your friend.
Yeah, but that person, and then they're the only one who doesn't know what's going on. I think that's unfair. And I feel like you don't get an opportunity to really grow in your friendships when you do that. And so that's why we see women that are in their 60s and they're still having those same issues in friend groups, because they never got the opportunity to be real with somebody. Because a lot of times when you be real with people, they can't take it.
Right.
So if I tell you how I honestly feel and you can't hear my heart, all you can hear is I'm coming at you, regardless of the fact if that's how I feel or not, then you don't get any resolve.
Right. Because if a friend is telling you, it's because they love you. If they didn't care anymore, they would just not fool with you.
Exactly. They will move on and not even say nothing.
Move on. That's how I roll. If I really, like, if we cool, but if you do something and I peep it, I ain't even gonna say nothing. And I say, okay, I'll put that in my back pocket. You do it again, oh baby, you're cut, because I'm not even close to you like that. I don't even like you like that. But if I
wish
love
I could
you,
do that.
Oh, I can't. It's easy. Oh, girl, I can't wait to cut a bitch off. I can't wait. I love it. It's so great. Delete, block.
I gotta say my piece. I can't hold it.
It's not worth it to me.
I have to say it, and then I can move on, because it will just keep going over and over and over and over in my head. I have to say it.
I think it would depend on the person. Like, if I wasn't close to the person, I could cut them off. But if I really value our friendship, then I have to have the conversation, because I need to know if our friendship is worth enough for you to take what I'm saying into consideration and make the change, or was I just out here feeling like I had a friend and I didn't?
I think because I don't really have any friendships that I don't value.
I don't either, but I'm saying
people that I call a friend, so if it was somebody that like I just know and they said something to offend me, and I don't really have to see them, I don't even I don't text them, I don't call them, they're not really in my life like that. Like I can go without that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. More like acquaintance, or like, even like a coworker or something.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I can.
You know what? That. I think with me, because I've had close friends, and the close friends that I've had, I tried to communicate. I mean, this was years ago. I try to communicate like how I feel and all of that, but it backfired in front of me. So now it's almost like a trauma response where if I'm a friend to you and you're my friend, but I'm not too sure how close we are, I'm gonna internalize that, because I don't know how you're going to receive me. I know I can be a very upfront person. I'm loud, I'm direct, I'm very opinionated. I know those things about myself, but that can be perceived so wrong. And I put a wall up to protect how I feel and to protect how my feelings are. So if I have a problem with you and I know we're not that close, I go, well, I don't think it's worth it, because I don't feel like being rejected, and I don't feel like feeling like the neglection. And I'd rather not say anything at all, and I'd rather process it on my own and move on. But if I love you hard, love you tough, you're going to see a different side of me. And I am going to
Yeah.
actually very communicate it to you in a different way. And we're going to work this through. So that's just, I don't know. It's like a protection thing.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Okay, so it got a little weird in the locker room.
Very awkward.
Very awkward. And it was like weird how the whole thing was set up too, because everybody left the locker room.
They did.
Except Teresa and Louis.
Teresa and Louis, and then Melissa and her family come in, which I appreciate about Melissa. She was like, go say hello to your aunt.
Yes.
Go give your auntie a kiss.
That.
Yeah,
I love that she did that. Teresa did not do the same. Gia did not speak to her uncle.
None of them.
They just
she gave the cousin a hug, and that was it. That all she had.
Everybody else, she paid dust.
Right. And I'm like, that's why that, like, it's never gonna be different, because they don't even try. Like, at least, like, I mean, I don't understand the Gia and Joe beef, but like, that's your uncle. Like, come on.
She doesn't. I think she's writing for her dad,
and her mom,
but more so too, like, things he has said about, was that when the episode where she was yelling at him outside the house, was that over her mom or her dad?
That was over her dad.
Yeah. So I feel like it's both, but I feel like their relationship took a turn after that, because Joe Gorga? Yeah, Gorga felt disrespected by her, and I think that's the first time. Yeah, for sure. But I think that's what shifted their relationship, because he started to look at her different, and she started to look at him differently, because I don't think that those lines should be crossed in respect to, like, that's her uncle,
Yeah.
That's why I just feel like the kids should just, like, stay out of that. But
I get it. Have y'all ever had anybody in the family that's immediate disrespect your parents though?
Yeah.
Really? Did you just were you not like, how did that, I'm curious, because how did that make you feel? Because with me, like, I felt a type of way, but I was never disrespectful. Now, I agree with how Gia is. I know how to stay in my lane, because at the end of the day, they're still an elder, right? I know how to be respectful, but I'm not going to have a relationship with them.
And they're siblings. This is my thing. And my mom get into it with her brother, they are siblings. Yeah. They have known each other their entire life. They have a history that I will never understand.
Right.
And if they get into it and they're fine in a couple of weeks and I'm still mad about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's my thing too. Yeah, they gonna make up.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. That is my mom. That is my uncle. Whatever they got going on with their relationship, it's up to them. Unless he, like, put his hands on her or, like, something crazy like that. But if they going back and forth with their words, that's on them.
Right.
I feel like as a child, you stay in your place. That ain't nothing.
I feel like
no matter how old you are.
No matter how old you are.
I feel like the show,
you as a child till you die.
Right.
I feel like the
as
show,
long as I'm older than you, you are a child.
Okay.
I feel like the show though had a lot to play in it, like her being on the show and having
she had to see it too.
And to be honest with you, I don't know if you guys remember, like, Melissa was also talking about Gia in interviews and stuff like that, and making tweets like, come on, you guys, like, so I feel like in the beginning Gia was trying to be that respectful niece, like she was staying out of it. But I feel like when they started, she's older now, and she's like, well, I'm gonna speak up for myself, like, you're not gonna talk to me like that, which that was disrespectful. But if I were Gia, I'm like, yo, raggedy wife, talking about me in interviews, you talking badly about my dad, then you being fake for cameras to make it seem like you on my dad's side. I would have been like, what do you want? What more do you want from me? I don't feel like she's always been.
When did he pretend like he was on Joe Giudice's side? I don't feel like he ever was.
Oh, you didn't remember when they took pictures with Joe Giudice when they were in the Caribbean?
No.
Oh, they were in the Caribbean, and Joe Gorga and Melissa, they were in the Caribbean, because that's where Joe Giudice live now. He can't live live in America, so I don't blame him. You better live in the Caribbean. So he's out there, and they ran into Joe Giudice, and mind you, Joe Gorga has not talked to Joe Giudice in years. Talked mad trash about him, but he wanted to take a picture, and then he posted it in my opinion, posted it on his social media to take a jab at Teresa. I really feel like he did that because that's when Teresa and them they were not talking. So I don't know. That's when Gia made that comment underneath that post. Like, you've been disrespectful to my dad. You don't even talk to my dad. Like, take the picture down,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I get it though. I totally get it. I think if it weren't for the show and people on social
that
media
adds another added element, I
gassing
think, for
people up.
sure.
Yeah.
And she has to see it. Like, we don't know. She's probably watching every episode. And Gia ride hard for her mom. And I understand why. Her mom has been through a lot.
Yes.
She's the oldest. She's seen everything. Teresa doesn't hide anything from her kids. They're overexposed.
Okay.
It's not healthy.
No,
it's
not at all.
unhealthy. But because she has been exposed at such a young age to everything that's going on, Teresa, that's her best friend. So she is just unleashes everything on her. And I think it's unfair to have put all that on her, but we are where we are. And I think that's why she rides for her mom the way that she does, because she's seen her suffer the worst. So I understand her passion when it comes to defending her parents.
It's almost like on the lines of, when you have an older boy and the dad leaves the house and now the mom is like, oh, you're the man of the house. Like putting that
Gia
on
is
them.
the man of the house.
Gia is the man of the house. So she has this like innate job, right? Like to feel like she's got to be the provider, the protector, like from her
especially because her mom, she don't got all her marbles all the time.
No.
And so, and Gia, I feel like was her backbone.
Yeah.
And she shouldn't have been, but she was.
Right.
Is probably. I don't know. Now that Louis is out, child, we ain't gonna go there.
Right. All right. Well, let's get into this Martha Vineyard reunion. It's sad because we talking about the Martha's Vineyard reunion on the same day that we find out that they're going to be put on pause.
I know.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
Right.
I kind of feel like, I don't know. I didn't look at the numbers. I don't know how their numbers did, but given that they were given a reunion, but it was on the stage of Watch What Happens Live, I think that says a lot about what type of numbers they did, because Bravo is not wasting money. So they said they was giving y'all a reunion, but they're not going to give you this big production, because we know Bravo goes all out for the stage of the reunions. Yeah. So the fact that theirs was on Watch What Happens Live, I'm just like, and it ended so abruptly.
Yeah. Like they
didn't get a little shot. They didn't get closing remarks. They didn't get a shot. They didn't get champagne. Like nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it to your guys' attention when I was watching it. Like I think it was last week. I was like, Andy, Bravo be pays all this money for these reunions with these extravagant backdrops, and they got these gowns. And I was like, this is a reunion? This is crazy. This don't even look like they.
But I feel like you guys brought up a good point. Set. Like they've done other shows where that's the set.
Like that. Okay. Yeah, and it's only their second season, so some shows don't even get it.
They could have did a little bit more.
A green screen. They could have put a little green screen with a little background or something. But I mean, they could have got a glass of champagne. I just feel like the way they ended it was just disrespectful. But let's talk about the outfits. So they did a pink theme. Now let me just say, I gotta give credit where credit is due. Now I'm not talking about the outfit, but Nick looked good. His skin was glowing. He looked clean. He had a little chest out. I think he looked very nice. Now, I don't care for the pink coat, but I think he put it together really well.
Yeah.
Am I alone in that?
No, I like it. Well, now see, if that was my first time seeing him, I thought he looked a little fruity, but then when he would talk,
for sure. For sure. He looked very fruity, but I think he looked
legs crossed, and I said, "Oh, wait a minute," and I said, "Okay, wait."
But he put the look together. I'm talking about the look.
Yes. I liked it.
The look went well.
It did.
I was not feeling Preston with his little silk outfit on.
Terrible.
And the Muslim hat. I said, what is this outfit?
Nick should have dressed Preston.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. It was too shiny.
What's the brother's name? The dark chocolate one with that cream?
Oh, Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't think so? Right.
He doesn't do it for me.
He don't do it for me. I feel like Nick do it for me more than Alex do.
No, girl. Me and my friend, I was doing her hair, and we was sitting on the couch watching it, and she was like, "Who was that? That girl, girl, I know that brother is fine, and he
I
had that
think
little
'cause
suit
I
on. I
watched
think
the
he's
show.
sexy. I loved it. But you know what? I just started watching this season, so I don't really know his personalities. You know, personalities can change how they look.
For sure.
Just like Amir's. Is that his name, Amir?
Amir.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, he's fine. And then later out this, I said,
And he started talking.
Yeah. I was like, never mind. Forget it.
I didn't think the girls dressed cute either. Like, I don't know what's the mom's name? Like, I don't know who dresses her.
Jasmine.
Like, I hate the blonde.
The blonde. I'm not
blonde
here for
hair.
the blonde.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
outfit, it wasn't doing it. The feather.
And Noelle had that bandage dress on from 2016.
But honestly, she looked the best out of the girls with the
You
old
look put together. I just didn't like the dress.
Yeah.
What's the girl's name? The one that has alopecia? I liked her outfit.
I
with
didn't
the
like her
pink-
outfit either.
That drip.
Jordan.
Yeah.
I
It
like
wasn't
that
don't
outfit.
remember
pink.
her
I was looking
outfit.
for the pink.
I didn't mind Bria's. I think.
Yeah, Bria's wasn't
Yeah.
terrible. I didn't like Jordan.
I thought Bria's whole thing was put together nice. I think the hair and the makeup went with the outfit. I think
Which
she
one is
put it
Bria?
together.
I don't forgot.
She's the
one with the
dark-skinned girl.
dog.
Yeah, with the dog.
Oh yeah, she was really pretty. What's the crazy girl that would be shaking her
Shanice.
boobie? Shanice. I did not like her dress at all. It was
Me
giving
either.
Shein.
Except
Well,
for
they
why-
said she was dressed. She was
And that's
terrible.
why they was talking bad about her like a dog about her fashion, because that dress it just didn't give. I don't like
didn't.
that at all.
But
Ooh,
Summer's outfit wasn't giving either.
I
No.
liked her little dress.
Summer, what she have on?
It was like a sequence pink long dress.
It was all right, I guess.
It
Not
wasn't
to
like
go sit in somebody's
spectacular.
living room.
Yeah,
But
no.
y'all see how the daggone reunion was? We up here talking about they daggone outfits.
Right.
Ain't nothing really else to talk about.
That's why they didn't get another
It wasn't terrible. It was some things that they brought up, like how
Also,
Summer
I
was
want
trying
to
to
say I
comfort
feel
Noelle.
like
Yeah.
Andy cut off some things that could have went a little further.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like
Like-
for example, the when Summer was trying to come for Noelle about the whole Alex thing, and then she was like contradicting herself. Like she was trying to talk about how Noelle was trying to get with Alex, even though she knew that her and Alex hooked up, even though she told Noelle that all they were doing was hanging out. Like,
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna think just because my friend is hanging out with a guy that they're having sex. Like, I need
When
you to
does
be
hang out
specific.
equal sex? When
Right.
has that ever? Now I know in white people land, hooking up can equal sex.
But I'm even confused with that. Is hooking up sex or is hooking up kissing?
It can mean two different things. But in white people land, a lot of times when they say hooking up, it means sex. But you have to
Yeah.
clarify: is it hooking up, or did y'all hook up, or did y'all hook up?
Right.
But I think hanging out never means. Netflix and chill could mean sex
Yeah.
yes.
and slang, but hanging out, we could have went to the In and Out to hang out.
Right. We could have went to Denny's. Let's talk about Denny's again.
Okay. Like I don't think two is not one and the same, but I think she kind of like did that just to say, well, I didn't know. Like, girl, you knew.
Right.
You ain't that naive. Like you could have clarified.
Right.
But I also think Noelle kind of didn't care at that point.
Well, I feel like after she found out that they had sex, she wasn't pushing up on Alex like that. I feel like that was like when she was like,
Did she find out they had sex before or after they was sitting outside and he told her he didn't like her like that?
I think it
I
was
think
after.
that was after.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that was when she really found out that he wasn't feeling her when they went out to the bar, and she was like, I want a man who's da 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 da. And then after that, she found out that they had sex.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
But
I
hate that
feel
they
like
tried- Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like if you were my friend and you told me that you were hanging out with a guy and you guys were talking, I just don't think I would try to talk to that guy.
Right.
Because I already know that's gonna be some weird, convoluted, like energy or something. Because
Right.
what does that even mean? And you know what? She should have clarified. What do you mean by hanging out? Did you actually like this guy? Like, there should have been more clarification, because if you're
Right.
my friend, that's girl code. I'm not about to fool with a nigga that you was hanging out with and you were talking with. I'm
But
not
I think
doing
we
that.
had that combo.
They had
Did
the
they?
conversation, but everybody, and I think, okay, because I have done this before to where I kind of downplayed something and it backfired.
Right. I think that she tried to downplay it, and then Noelle actually liked him, and he was like
Right.
kind of feeling her initially too until she tried to have that deep convo, and then it was like, okay.
The same thing happened to me in college where I was talking to a guy, but if anybody knew me in college, listen, I'm not gonna talk my business, but
Ooh.
when in college, I dated. I
Mhm.
didn't, if I wasn't in a relationship, I was dating. So that means I dated multiple people at a time. Listen,
Mhm.
I was taught that dating is for marriage. So I was looking for my husband. Okay.
Period.
With that being said, I had a friend who she so happened to come across the same guy. And the only reason why I found out was because I was at her house and I seen her messages on the computer. This is back when MySpace was a thing.
Oh,
And
Lord.
he had, like, they were messaging on MySpace. And I'm like, how you know him? And she like, oh, so we go through that or whatever, and we figure out we both talking to him, right? But she was like, oh, well, I thought you was talking to such and such. And I'm like, well, I am talking to him. I'm talking to him too. And and so she was just kind of like, well, do you mind like if I talk to him? And I'm like, listen, you're gonna do what you're gonna do anyway. Like, you already know what the situation is. But my thing was, she already knew that I was talking to him before she started talking to him. That's what I found out.
Oh.
Yeah. So whether I said yes or no, she was gonna do what she wanted to do anyway. But I did downplay it. I was just like, girl, I don't care. Because in my mind, if you really my friend, like you said, if
That
we're
wouldn't be a
really,
question.
it wouldn't be a question. Because
Right.
Obviously, if I'm bringing it to you, it's something more than just us being friends.
Right.
the moment my friend would have said, this is somebody I'm talking to, I wouldn't even asked her, do you mind if I talk? That's weird.
Right.
And that
But-
right there, I hope told you that she was not your friend anymore.
Period.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, go ahead.
I would have asked you who it is so bad, but
You,
I ain't gonna ask you no names. Do
I'll
she
tell
like
you
a lot
later.
of rings? Do she like a lot of rings?
Oh, yeah. And needless to say, they went on and dated. But do you think that stopped him from trying to message me? And no, you played right into the hand that you was dealt, and I moved on. He never moved on.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't do that.
Yeah.
But that's I feel like that should be common sense amongst girl code. Like, if I find out, oh girl, what? Oh, we teaming up. We're not talking anymore. This is girl power. What are you doing?
But see, I don't think it was a situation to where it was like, oh, we exclusive and we talking. It was just we talking. So I don't think
I didn't care.
The team up wasn't necessary because it was never.
To me, it was a
Loyalty
favor.
is so deep to me. Like loyalty is very serious to me. So that's disloyal for you to choose a guy that you've barely known and you've been friends with me much longer, and you know that we're talking to the same guy. Clearly, this guy's a loser.
Right.
What a loser.
That's where I was with it, where I was just like, if he's talking to me and you at the same time, that's not anybody I want to deal with. So you can have him.
Right.
That's where I was with it. But also, you can go with him because I can't trust you.
Right. Go on and keep him. Don't lose him because of me, girl.
Go on and go right on with him. Out the door.
Yeah,
I hate the way that they tried to make it seem like Alex was a fuckboy though, because of this like situation. Like, I feel like Alex was.
F boys are not upfront and honest.
No,
right.
And I feel like he is upfront.
Sometimes they are, as a form of
that's
manipulation.
True. And you don't believe them.
Manipulation.
But no, but I feel like if they are upfront and honest, and you choose to think that they aren't being serious, that's on you.
Yeah.
Like if somebody is telling you that this is what they want, you gotta believe it. Like,
right.
You think that's that whole nigga might change. Like, that's on you that you fell for that.
You.
He told you what it was, and you didn't believe it. So
right.
at this point, your broken heart is your fault.
Kind of. Yeah, I agree.
No, for sure. Totally if agree. He laid it out, you made a choice.
Yeah.
He put it in front of you. He told you what he was about, and you made a choice to say, I'm going to stay with it.
And even if he was a fuckboy, do you think he would have told what's her name? Like, what's the girl's name that
Noelle, that's what he
Noelle?
said.
Do you think he would have told Noelle, like, this is not what I want to do, after he saw that she was like trying to really
Right,
get
that's
into
what he was
what
saying.
he said. He said,
He was like, I would have smashed. If I was a fuckboy, I would have smashed.
Yes,
he was like, she's a
100%.
beautiful girl. He was
Yeah.
like, she's a beautiful girl. If I was that way, I would have did exactly that.
And then that's what he was like, I would have even had, what he said, Shanice, like, because she was trying to have
She
her
was
legs
throwing it at him.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I don't think that he falls in that category. I feel like he's very he tells them exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He doesn't try to like play it. Even like when he's over it, he don't even like try to pretend like he's still in it. He just it's like, no, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm gonna go outside and scat.
For whatever reason, women do not believe men when they're honest with them.
Right. It's like that whole thing where your mom tells you that the boy is hitting you because he likes you. It's like that syndrome.
Yeah. The lies.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about Natalie and Amir buying a house? So we've seen in the recent news that they're buying, I think they already bought the house together.
Yeah. Or I think they're in a process, and he's saying that he's going to be he's buying it, but she's going to be on the deed, which I don't like, because that means if y'all break up, it's not like y'all still
own that house without her.
Right. You still
it's just on his credit.
Right. He's financially responsible, and she just gets to get half ownership. Like,
they've only been together for like a year and some change, right?
I think he said 4 years.
No, they only been together like a year. Because remember, the first season he didn't have a girlfriend. They just got together.
Maybe he said, I heard something about 4 years. I don't know if he said he known her for 4 years or what. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think that was a smart choice. I also think Amir's a little scared of her.
Yeah, he does what she says for sure.
He completely runs his life, even the way he was answering questions. And they asked him, like, well, how do you feel about her emasculating you and saying that, you know, she makes in a month what you make in a year? And he's like, well, it's true. And like, bro, where's your cojones?
Right. Just because it's true don't mean she got to tell everybody.
Yeah. Like, why would you want to be with a woman that's going to like talk about you in that manner? I don't think she honored him in any type of way. It seems as though she wants to be top dog and she wants to present herself in that manner, almost like he's just her little puppy dog just coming along for the ride.
Yeah.
And she got to school him. She got to teach him the game.
Even when they talked about the proposal, it was like, so when's Natalie gonna let you propose? It's like, what? Like, and he's like, on an 80-degree day when we're ready. Like, what?
Andy is shady. Andy's so shady. He said, if you're still there. When Andy asked him if his schlong was still there.
Oh, yeah.
I said, what word y'all want to use?
Right. It's in her purse, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's funny that my next note is, should Summer have set out this season, because now she's supposedly not returning for next season, even though it's going to be on pause. But yeah, I think this season she was not emotionally capable of being on this show. She should have set this one out because it was not a good look for her. For sure. And I think Bria and Simon need to just go ahead and let it go. But I don't think she's going to let it go because he's a millionaire. She said he is a multi-millionaire. Right. Oh. But we talk about emasculating. Bria does to Simon as Natalie does to Amir.
Oh, for sure.
Let's keep it 100. She does not respect that man at all.
Nope. He can't. He doesn't. He's not supposed to have a brain of his own. He's supposed to do whatever she says. And the fact that she sat on TV and said that her what does she call it? Her soulmate is in Tribeca.
Right.
Like, it was like, everyone doesn't marry their soulmate. Da, 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 da. Like, girl, don't try to clean it up.
Everyone doesn't marry their soulmate. They just marry their person. Like, but why would
what
your
holds
person
more weight, soulmate or person?
Right. And why would you not want to marry your soulmate if you know
your soulmate is in Tribeca? What you doing with it? Your soulmate must be broke.
Right.
That's probably what it is. That's
Maybe
probably
Tribeca. I
exactly
thought
what
that
it
was a good
is.
area. I don't know.
Yeah. Bria doesn't strike me as dating somebody that's broke. So Tribeca probably got some money.
Well, oftentimes you always meet a broke one in your life. And your heart may be connected to them.
Because y'all couldn't afford to go out.
Huh?
Your heart is connected because you couldn't afford to go out on dates. So you got to know each other real well.
Right. See that now right there. That's the one, Trina.
Right. Your heart be connected to him, but it's like, girl, I can't live that life.
Right. Listen, love is not going to pay our bills. Living in this box.
With Bria. Okay? That's what it was given with Bria. I was like, girl, why would you say that?
Because she don't care about that man's feelings.
Unfortunately.
Okay, and then the way that they casually slid in that she was in jail in the south of France, was that when she was trying to fight the people at the dinner party?
About the his friends disrespecting her and stuff.
That was being racist. Like, is that when she got put in jail? Like, we need more information. Like, this is what that reunion was lacking. Like, you can't just graze over her being in jail and calling Preston to get international legal advice. Like, what?
Right.
Andy was probably just trying to hurry up, get that whole reunion over with.
Right. Something I think that was kind of relevant to like any friendship group, and when they were talking about with that how the dynamic shift with Jasmine and Jordan's friendship,
and how you
like
still
handling,
Go ahead.
Like handling friendship changes, right? So I was watching a recap on TikTok, and they were saying that they feel like the dynamic of Jordan's and Jasmine's relationship really changed, partially because of her relationship with Simon, but also
Silas.
Jordan, Silas. Silas. But partially Jordan kind of mourning who Jasmine was before she got married.
Yeah.
And I think Jasmine spoke on it a little bit. It's like, yeah, she changed. Her entire life changed. And I think Jordan kind of was missing that old friend who was in the clubs with her and like,
the Playboy place.
Yeah. And it's like, girl, she's a wife now. Like she's a mother. And your life is supposed to change when those things happen, but there's no handbook on how to shift in your relationships when those things happen. And so I think a lot of friendships could suffer, especially when you're the first one in the friend group to make those changes. It's like, damn, girl, what's wrong with you? Why you can't kick it no more? Why you can't, Yeah. And so,
but then too, Jasmine was trying to hook Jordan up the whole first season. Like that was aggravating too. Like,
and I think she was trying to loop her into her world.
Right. So
like, that's not your place.
Right. So they could be on the same, like, oh, we're wives, or whatever,
And I think I don't think she necessarily was coming from a bad place, but I think she laid it on too thick, because even when they were in the store, when she asked her, like, well, didn't you say that you wanted to be in a relationship? She's like, yeah, but I'm not clicking with anybody on this trip.
Right.
And as my friend, you should know what my type is and like what I really want. And like this, my husband ain't here.
Right. Girl, I didn't say I'm giving desperate. I want a man, but I'm not taking any man. Like, come on.
Right. So let me ask this question. Do you guys think, because this is a question that they kind of pose on TikTok, do you guys think that in any way Jordan is envious of the fact that Jasmine reached this point in her life before her? Does that play any factor in their relationship?
I don't think so. I don't think she's jealous of like Jasmine being married. I think that she definitely misses the relationship that they used to have. And I feel like she's having issues adjusting to she's having issues adjusting to Jasmine's changes and still maintaining a relationship that she can have with her. Like, like I'm sure Jasmine, like before she got pregnant, she still probably would want to go out and have fun with her, like even as a married woman. But I think that because now Jasmine has that title as wife, like I feel like it kind of makes Jordan feel like she's not the same person anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's like envious of that. I just feel like the title, she's thinking about wife instead of Jasmine as like the person, you know? So yeah.
Sometimes I feel like with the friendships like that, when one friend is not, married and have, sometimes those type of friendships, there can be some envious because they wish that they can have that, but they're not in that place right now. And some people don't know how to process that. And it comes across as like they are a little jealous of it and they start to nitpick on that friendship. But at the end of the day, it could not be the case. She, just like what Trina said, like she just doesn't know how to process that because she doesn't come from that world. She doesn't understand, like, my focus is not hanging out and doing anything with like my girls. My focus is my home now. My focus is elsewhere. And some other friendships don't understand that. Like there's some friendships that completely understand that. Like that friendship will never change just because you're in a new chapter in your life. But there are those situations where you have major fallouts and they get mad at you. That's happened to me multiple times. They get mad at you because, oh, well, you don't hang out anymore. And it's like, girl, I can't hang out. I got a 6-month-old baby and my husband. Like, girl, can't nobody kick it with you on a Tuesday night at 2:00 in the morning.
They better do like you better just pull up.
No, listen, I feel too like you have to make those adjustments on both sides because I think with the friend who's not getting married, it's like, well, yeah, dang, I do miss my friend the way things were because we were, two peas in a pod. Like, we didn't have to consult with anybody before she went out or did this X, Y, and Z. And also with the friend who got married, it's like, yeah, I do want to hang out with my friends, but I have an obligation to my marriage. And so I think the person who got married has to find their footing. And then the friend has to find their footing, but both have to be willing to be understanding of the position. So I think especially it does carry a lot of weight with being the first friend in the group to get married because you don't have a blueprint. That was me and our friend group. I said, I didn't know what I was doing. But I think one thing that I did do, Katrina, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like something I did do right was I had a conversation with my friends and like, listen, things are going to change. I don't know how they're going to change, but I know that I still love y'all. I still want to hang out with y'all, but I also have a commitment to my husband. So I have to like, that's going to come first.
Yeah.
But I feel like, it took me a while to get my footing, but I did a good job of trying to balance. Like Katrina said, she joined the party. She was at my house every Sunday, and my husband didn't mind because he understood the importance of my relationships with my friends as well. And he does have important relationships with his friends as well. And at the time we didn't have children. So it was easy for us to kind of like navigate. We lived in the city. It was like, girl, come on. Like we tried our best to like intermingle our lives with still prioritizing our marriage, but also prioritizing our friendships. But I think also with Jasmine, her husband was so strict and stern about things that he wanted. He was like, he's military, right?
Military.
So she's like having to iron all his clothes. He wants his breakfast at a certain time.
And Jordan was like, what is this? This is not my friend. And she felt like he was being like controlling.
He was so militant with her that it was like, is she your servant? Like, what is that?
Right.
So I think it also depends on the dynamic of the marriage. So like in my case, my husband was like, we kind of talked with each other, like, what are our boundaries? Like, what do we want to establish? Like, what And it kind of just flowed together. We're all family and we've developed those relationships over the years. But I think it is hard when you're the first one thrown in because you don't have nobody to look to be like, girl, how am I supposed to do this?
Right.
And she was very like communicative. Like it wasn't like you had to like guess. Like she was like she said, stuff might change. Like I feel like I don't know. With Jasmine, like I don't know if that was maybe like their first time because I think that the show started like right after COVID. So that was their first time really being around her and Silas as a couple. So he didn't have the conversation like, hey, I can't do the same things that I used to do. I have my husband where I'm committed to him. He comes first. So, you know, because I think on that one, they were on quarantine. Like, they were working and stuff from home on the first season when Silas was there. So it was an adjustment for everyone. So I think maybe if she would have communicated better about like what the dynamic of their relationship is, like as far as her and her husband and their friendship, then I think Jordan would have had a better chance of adjusting. Because Jordan, she never gave off, I'm jealous that you're married.
No, I agree. Like, she didn't give off jealous. I think her whole thing
was, I miss my friend. Like, where is my friend?
Yeah.
And I don't think Jasmine did a good job of like that balance, but also I think she was stuck in between a rock and a hard place because her husband was so
didn't even know how to do that. She did not know how to do that.
No, I think she was trying to balance just like being in the house and catering to him because he was so demanding of her. Like, he had to have things a certain way. Like, he needed
She had to get up and cook breakfast, iron his clothes.
But I mean, I feel, wouldn't she have known that before she got into this marriage, or was it like a light switch when they got married?
It wasn't a problem for her. It wasn't a problem for her, but I think the problem occurred with them being in the house because she was doing all those things at home.
Oh, okay.
But with her being in the house, everybody else is kind of like, girl, dang.
Like, even her, she was like in the house. She was like, "Hey, my friends are here. Like, I don't always want to cook you breakfast. Like, you know, you can go cook your breakfast too, or you can iron your stuff too. Like, I can't just cater to only you. Like, I have to
post to the trip."
Right. So it was like, I also have to, like, you know, talk to these people and spend time with them too. Like, I can't just cater to every single thing that you need.
Was he receptive to that? Because I didn't see that first season. Was he receptive to that at all?
No.
He didn't care what was going on. He like, you are my wife.
Right.
This is how we live our life. And that
was what was making Jordan like be like, what?
And I'm not going to defend him, but what I will say is that if she was doing all these things at home with no problem, and then we get to the house and you switch up on me, he doesn't understand why there's a shift in your attitude when you never even said a peep at home.
Oh.
So I think that she was kind of like in a position to where she was thrown this monkey wrench to where it's like, dang, I didn't think about the fact that I have to balance these other people and he's going to expect all these things of me on vacation. That was her thing. She's like, we're on vacation. Like, at home, I understand, but we're on vacation. Like, you can make your own breakfast too. Like, you're not working the same way you're working at home, even though he was working in the office. I mean, in the room and stuff. But I think she didn't think that those expectations were going to be mandated on vacation, especially me on TV, child. I got to get up. I got to do my hair, my makeup. Like, I can't just be like catering to you all day. I got other things to do. I got to film, you know, so I don't know.
That's a note to friends, though. When it comes to marriages, you have to be so respectful of a marriage just because you're not married and you don't quite understand it. If your friend is happy, support them in their happiness. Just because you see a different person, remember that they're still navigating through what that wife means as well. Like, we don't know what it means until we're in that situation. But
their whole life changed.
It changes, but I understand the friendship dynamic changes as well. And I really like the way you said Trina just popped up. Like, ain't nothing got to change between you and I. We just got to change how we hang out.
We didn't pop up. We talked about it.
Oh God, I'm not saying pop up. Golly, you guys.
I was wrong.
Pop up, but I'm saying like she was
in the city, but it still took about 30-45 minutes to get there.
But it became our thing to where my husband would be like, Trina, come over today. Like, you know, and we're both social people. We enjoy having friends and family around. And so it didn't take away our date nights were Saturdays. So Sundays became family day. And, you know, and I think that's important to how you should adjust. You should not just abruptly remove people from your life and not give them access. That's not fair because these people was shooting with you in the gym. Okay.
And I think too, like what works for us too is I've always had like a respect for her husband. Like I never like treat him like he's the sidekick. Like I know in her house, like he is the man of the house. And like I have to respect, you know, what he wants just as much as I respect what Kendra wants. So I think that's important too.
It makes all the difference. It really does. And yeah, it's not easy. You just have to figure it out. And I think all parties have to give each other grace. I feel like Jasmine wasn't necessarily given grace because people had certain expectations of her. She does carry herself a certain way also, but I feel like she wasn't really giving grace to the fact that she had just got married. She's on a TV show for the first time. She's hosting. Her husband is very demanding. Like, I think she wanted more support from her friends than criticism.
Yeah.
But y'all, we don't know how it's all gonna end because they get a season. The last thing is we found out Nick and Tasia broke up, child.
Right. And
I'm
definitely I think the show affected them.
Oh,
like,
100%.
For sure.
We going 2 seasons, and every season I got to hear about you not respecting me as a woman.
You ain't gonna keep disrespecting me on TV like this.
Right. Like, sir. Like, what are we doing? Like,
that's embarrassing.
She gives, you're not gonna have my name in the streets like this.
Right.
So
very much so.
I think she was just done.
I think he knew what type of woman he was dealing with, and I feel like that's when she came. He was trying his damned hardest to make her so comfortable and like the environment. But at the end of the day, too, I would look at him crazy, but I would also look at the girls in the house crazy too. Like, why are y'all acting like he was being handsy when all y'all were doing was throwing ass in his face? That's what you guys were doing. What? Like, I would be irritated. Like, why would you smile in my face? Like, hey, girl. I'm like, girl, get on my face. Because you really, you not for me. Like, because why would you be throwing your bare booty naked self? Shanice, you are butt naked, sliding down a slide.
Don't got no respect for nobody's relationship.
Right.
She
and Bria talk about, can you be my, what was it, cuddle? What is it?
And the other girls asking him to take a nap with her? What?
Like, and then you gonna come back and say, if you gave him the opportunity that he would sleep with you, you was the one throwing it at him.
Yes.
Right. Like, it's the hypocrisy for me. And then, like, I don't know.
Yeah, so, I
think they can make the right decision though. Who wants to be in that drama? I'm sure if they had another season, he would be back on the season, and they probably would be telling her something else next year. Like,
right. That's probably
that was her storyline with him, which was so bizarre.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you guys made it this far,
we love you.
We love you, and you need to go ahead and subscribe because
and please tell your friends. Please tell your friends.
All of them.
We want to go live on YouTube. I think we only need like 15 more people, so please spread the word. Have your friends subscribe. You know, let's chat in real time. You know.
Yes, going live would be so fun, y'all. Just go ahead and share with people so we can get this cracking.
Yes. Like, share, and subscribe, baby. And let us know in the comments. We asked last time. Let us know in the comments what y'all would like for us to talk about. See, are y'all listening? Are you guys finishing? That's what I want to know. Let us know.
Is the mic on?
Right. So if there's other shows that you guys want us to talk about, please let us know so we can, we can get on board. There's going to be more shows coming out, I think, in the summer. So just
this weekend, Dubai is coming on. It's a couple other shows that are coming on that's coming up. So let us know. Do y'all like Dubai? Are y'all here for the shade? Like, come on.
Let us know.
Right.
Yeah, because we want to talk about what y'all are interested in as well. We always gonna talk about what we're interested in, but we want to talk about what y'all are interested in as well.
Right.
Yep. And we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.